An extraordinary, disturbing, and chilling story from Kerala about a 24-year-old young woman, a literature student called Greeshma, who poisoned her boyfriend with pesticide, evidently because he refused to accept the end of their relationship. Greeshma has now been sentenced to death, ironically, in the same week that the RG Corps convict escaped the death penalty. But the judge, the Sessions Court judge, who pronounced the death sentence for Greeshma, said that it had been a brutal and most horrific crime, that Greeshma was a repeat offender, and that her murder of her boyfriend showed that even lovers cannot be trusted. I'm Barkha. You're with the Mojo Story. Today we are looking at the extraordinary, chilling crime from Kerala. Greeshma now becomes the youngest person to be on death row in the state of Kerala. This after a sessions court handed or pronounced the death sentence because Greeshma has been convicted of poisoning her boyfriend Sharon with pesticide. It is a chilling case. It is a case that coincides with the RG Court judgment, where the convict has in fact escaped the death penalty. Judge Bashir explained his reasons for giving the death sentence. He said that this was indeed the rarest of rare cases because he believed that Greeshma displayed premeditation, that she conspired with her family, her uncle, and her mother to kill her partner. And the judge believes that the strongest message must be sent with this death sentence. Sharon is dead. He was a radiology student. The case that is being built is, in terms of motive, is that Greeshma felt compelled to do this because her partner would not accept that she was to marry another man. As I said, it is a chilling case. It is also a case that could, in a way, weaken the fight that women have been fighting across India when the shoe is on the other foot and the violent partner is, in fact, the man. In fact, more than 90% of crimes committed against women in India are by someone who is known to the woman. But this is a role reversal, and it is an important case for many reasons. Let me introduce our guests on the program today as we look at the Kerala murder that has jolted India. Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate, is with us. Rahul Ishwar is with us. Kerala is his home state, and I'm wondering how he's looking at what's happened. Also joining us is a well-known lawyer from Kerala. He's been a vocal voice on this issue. Abhilash, MR Abhilash is with us. Good to see you, Abhilash. We're also joined by Abha Singh. She's a well-known rights activist. Good to see you, Abha. And Dr. Ranjana Kumari is with us, one of India's foremost women's rights activists. Thank you very much, everybody. I'll start with Sanjay Hegde. I can't help notice the ironies. It is the same week where Kolkata, a judge decides that it is not the rarest of rare cases that a woman who was killed and raped at her place of work, found with 16 external injuries, 9 internal injuries, including to her private parts, does not get the death sentence. A woman in her 20s, for killing her partner, poisoning him with pesticide, giving him an Ayurveda concoction laced with pesticide, does get the death sentence. Judge Bashir is very convinced. His order is very detailed. He believes this was premeditated in the extreme. As a very senior lawyer, are you surprised? It's still rare for women to get the death sentence, for young women particularly.
It
So
is
I'm just wondering what do you make of it?
it is rare for women to get the death sentence. It's rare for young people to get the death sentence. The Nirbhaya people were an exception. On this panel, I've got 8 death sentences, none of which got executed. I got them from the Supreme Court, but thankfully, none of them got executed. I have also done the Shraddhanand case, where a man buried his wife alive, and thereafter the Supreme Court said that he would get life in prison without the possibility of any parole or remission. So this is what the judge in RG Kaur did. He said, look, the lesser option is not unquestionably foreclosed. uh, I can give something short of a death sentence. So therefore, he sentenced Sanjay Roy to prison for the rest of his life. The judge in Kerala seems to not have done that. The judge believes that this is the rarest of rare cases. With the due respect to the judge, that the High Court will, when it comes to a confirmation, confirm this death sentence. And even if the High Court does, I do not think this is a matter that deserves to go all the way. Let me explain why. This
Hmm.
is certainly a young person. This is, in a sense, a woman who was who was caught in several circumstances. She wanted to move on. The man would not move on, and she talked to people who are elder to her within her family, and
Hmm.
they conspired with her, but they've got barely 3 years, as I can see. So I think fundamentally there is something more emotional about the judge's response, and we
Hmm.
come back again and again to that big phrase, rarest of rare cases. The rarest of rare cases comes from the judgment of the Supreme Court in Bachchan Singh's case, which upheld the constitutionality of capital punishment. And there, Justice R.S. Sarkaria said that ought not to be done save in the rarest of rare cases where the alternative option is unquestionably foreclosed. So that
Hmm.
second part, is it unquestionably foreclosed? Can we give a lesser sentence? That is something which a lot of judges lose sight of. So often the
So,
rarest
so
of rare becomes the gift of
reading
the
between the lines,
chancellor.
you do not agree with the death sentence.
With this death sentence, no. And let me make my position on death sentences in general
Why?
clear.
Why do you not agree with this?
The death
Let me
sentence,
just read out. Give me a
uh,
second. Let me read out what the judge says that this was an extremely brutal and diabolical case. I'm waiting for you, Sanjay. Can you hear me? The judge says this was an
yes, yes, yes,
extremely brutal and yeah, he says it was an extremely brutal and diabolical case. He also says it gave a message that a lover cannot be trusted. This is what Judge Bashir says. And he goes on to say that this lady wanted to prolong the victim's suffering. Her partner was in the ICU for 11 days. And the judge says that she wanted to cause him extreme pain before death, and he also suggests that she attempted to do this earlier. That attempt failed. And therefore, to that extent, she's a repeat offender. And this must be seen as cold blooded and premeditated. These are some of the arguments that the judge has made. Now, you're suggesting she's very young. She was 24 when this happened, old enough to marry. You, why are you painting her out to be some sort of victim with no agency of her own?
no, no, I'm not painting her out to be a victim. Well, almost everybody in any circumstance sometimes might contemplate murder. That's why if you've read enough of Agatha Christie, you'll come to
In
that
your
conclusion
imagination,
also.
not for real.
But
In
in
your
your
imagination,
no,
it's
yes,
one thing to read books and
but
watch
not enough
movies. It's
people.
another thing to actually
Yeah, yeah,
attempt
not
it.
yes, yes, yes. But here was somebody who thought there was no other thing, and her relative youth. She is not a repeat offender. She did it more than once to accomplish this particular murder. People who have killed 4 people, 5 people have also not been given the death sentence. I've prosecuted those as well. So I do
Hmm.
not think that this is one of those rarest of rare cases. So many a time it is the partner in a domestic situation who kills the person.
Okay.
Here it was poison which was used, and to say that she intended those 11 days of suffering is something which the judge has conjured up. I doubt,
Okay.
therefore, that this will be a sentence which will be upheld. Just
Let
one
me.
last thing.
Yeah.
Just one last thing, Barkha. The death penalty is constitutional. I go with it. The rarest of rare case, in my view, is only a case like Ajmal Kasab, where it is too dangerous to keep the man in because there might be terrorist attempts to free him. Other than that, I don't think the death sentence should be used. That's my position.
Okay. But that is on the death penalty philosophically. Ranjana, let's imagine for a moment that the genders here were reversed. As feminists who have devoted our lives to speaking up for women who face intimate partner crime, and it is so common, most women don't even speak about it. It happens every day. We've still been fighting for the right of to have marital rape recognized as a crime. Now, this is intimate partner crime with the genders reversed, right? Surely we can't, assuming that the police investigation is above board, assuming that what Grishma has been convicted of, she has done. I'm assuming that for the purpose of this conversation, that this is a solid police investigation. Uh, do we not need to stand up and say that even when the gender is reversed, this is heinous? That if a man had got the death penalty for poisoning his girlfriend with with a pesticide laced Ayurveda drink, how would we respond? And should we not respond the same way now that the genders are reversed?
Well, Barkha, you're talking about femicide, where 98% cases are where men are killing women. It's femicide, or you can say gendericide, that women are being killed because they are women. They can't defend themselves. There are so many issues involved there. But in this particular case, a crime is a crime, and she has committed a crime of killing and taking away life of someone. Now the discussion is not about should she be punished or not. She should be punished for committing a murder, fine. But should she be punished for death penalty? Should she be should the judge conclude that she wanted to inflict pain on him? Should he not get into the kind of situation and circumstances in which she was in love with him, and then of course, as you know, the story unfolds that he refused, so she was not taking a no for a no, and we have seen so many men who
She wanted to
killed the
break up. She wanted
and
to end
she,
the
yeah,
relationship.
she wanted to end the relationship. I mean, in any case, she wanted to go away from this relationship and wanted to work, perhaps to marry someone else. Perhaps she didn't find him good enough after some time, or maybe she thought that a life with him not will not be good. Many people can think like that. Men think much more than women. So I think this is something which has happened, and she killed. So she has committed a crime I will not defend, of murder, and I'll say she should have been punished. But to take a life away and to find her dangerous for society, to consider this rarest of the rare, and you very, very appropriately put it, Barkha, that what happened to Arjikar, Roy? Why was he brutalized the body? He raped her, he killed her. Perhaps there may have been more people, we don't know about all that, because nothing came out of all that investigation, and police could not defend, or CBI could not defend the case enough to get him the punishment that he deserved. So I think this is when you look at the two judgments at the same time, and blaming a young person who can be reformed, who can be going through all kinds of processes of rebuilding the life, or perhaps maybe all her life in jail, but to to really now pronounce death penalty, I don't think this is the right judgment. I don't think it, but of course now it has been given, and as we are not supposed to question the courts and the judges, but I think it has to be thought through at the higher level, and maybe that at higher
Give me
level
one
this may
line.
not sound.
Give me one line why you don't agree with the death sentence.
Because death sentence, as giving the right to the state to take away the life of individual, unless the person is totally dangerous for society, like RG person. He could come out, he could be brutalizing another woman, he could be inflicting injuries on women's bodies and raping women. You never know, he may come out on bail, and maybe any kind of the situation he may encounter, and he may repeat the crime, and we have heard of repeat criminals like that. So that's something, when the person becomes totally like terrorists, for example, they are dangerous to the larger interest of society. And then
Okay.
that's something, but in principle, we should have a very open debate about death penalty in the country. We should talk about it.
That is a different debate. At the moment, India has gone with a template that heinous crimes that fall into the rarest of rare categories do merit a death sentence. We have seen it applied in Nirbhaya. By the way, I should say in Kerala, this is the 34th person on death row and the youngest person now. Rahul Ishwar, do you feel what Sanjay Hegde and Ranjana feel, that she was young? This is not she's not a danger to society, she's female? Or do you feel that this is cold-blooded, premeditated? An attempt was made earlier. This young woman also tried to take her own life by drinking Lysol in the bathroom when she was in police custody. So, these are some of the shocking details that are emerging. What do you say?
Barkhaji, two submissions. First of all, thank you for that question where you rightly asked if there is a role reversal, what would have been the response? Had no Greeshma been on the other side, and if I had to end up even saying some partially defensive statements or defending statements regarding Sharon, it would have caused a huge outrage. There is a very popular High Court justice also in Kerala who even went on to the extent of slightly defending or subtly or indirectly defending Greeshma, saying that she is young, she should be given another chance. I don't know whether had the same verdict been given to Sharon, the same yardstick would be applied there. So let's be very honest about it. And RJ, everyone agrees that person should be given. I seriously believe he should be given the death sentence. There is no gender ideology in such heinous crimes. We should be very open and honest about it. But please remember, this is a premeditated murder. She was not only cheating Sharon, she was also cheating Sadish, who is a military man, and their engagement was also done. So she was, she wanted to send away this Sharon person, and Ranjana ma'am with greatest of
But that is a different debate. No, Rahul, that
yeah,
is
that's
a
a different
different
debate.
debate.
That's
That
a
is a
different
different
debate.
debate. I think we should not confuse people's personal morality with crime,
Yeah,
because
absolutely, yes. But
having an affair
there is only one
is her.
only one question
Yeah,
pending in that. There is only one question pending. Ranjana ma'am was very softly saying that after some time, many people don't find these people good enough. Had the male said the same thing, he could have been arrested for saying that he cheated her or had physical relationship on the pretext of marriage. The same thing doesn't apply to the other side, is a reality. So these are some of the realities or lopsided things that we should be aware. That's the reason why in Kerala we are all trying for a movement for a
yeah.
larger commission for men where there is a sense of justice and people don't even justify such murders. And please remember Sharon's mother, Sharon's family, and please remember one more very important thing this judge said. Sharon never even in the deathbed named Greeshma. He never even in the deathbed wanted Greeshma to be be in the jail. So he was such a good lover. Let us remember him with respect. At the same point of time, Greeshma should be given the severest of punishment. As everyone said, as Sanjay sir rightly said, maybe going to the higher courts, they may lessen the gravity of the punishment, like Abhilash sir was also saying in many of the Malayalam
Yeah.
prominent channels. Maybe it is true, but the larger message is rightly sent, and I believe the judge should be appreciated for that because he has taken a very bold decision.
Right. Let me bring in Abhilash now, and then I'll come to Abha. Eman, Abhilash, how is this playing out in Kerala? It must have polarized public opinion a fair bit, or is public opinion overwhelmingly on one side of the case? Before I come to the point of law, and the law, the judge had to decide, was this the rarest of rare? Does the death sentence apply? And he made 2 points. He said 2 points in the order. One, that he said that the Greeshma wanted to prolong the suffering of her partner, and two, that she had tried this before. And that is what led him to believe that this deserves the death sentence. Your take, Abhilash.
Barkaji, first of all, Kerala public opinion is pitted against this convict because the diabolic manner in which the murder was committed is not at all acceptable to the society. And it's not about a deception in love, but he was deceived to death. So public opinion is very much weighed against her. As a matter of fact, I am a resident of Delhi. Nevertheless, I follow whatever is happening in Kerala. When it comes to whether she should have been awarded death sentence, my view is completely affirming the views of Supreme Court that when it comes to murder, life sentence is a rule and capital punishment is the exception. Here, in this case, there are certain mitigating factors like age of the offender. There is no criminal antecedents as such. Uh, of course, there are certain aggravating factors. For example, lack of remorse. She doesn't have any remorse whatsoever, and even she disclosed to the investigating officer, as reported in Malayalam channels, that I will have 14 years and I'll come out at the age of 38. I'll have my happy life thereafter. So there would be lack of remorse, but unfortunately, as per Indian law, lack of remorse is not an aggravating factor while deciding capital punishment. Even if it is brought on record, that wouldn't attract capital punishment. And as per whatever was elucidated by Supreme Court in 1983, Machi Singh case, see, if somebody is brutally killed or killed by way of inflicting maximum pain uh, over a period of time, by mutilating, for example, one's organs gradually so that the person would undergo death by suffering. So here, the reason why the judge conferred death sentence was that he was gradually bled to death. But my view is slightly different, due to the reason that pesticide was administered to him, and she could not anticipate as to how many days he would suffer, nor she happens to be a medical expert to decide on the gravity of the consequence when it comes to the victim. So, of course, it is a premeditated murder. Most murders are premeditated. So, she should get punishment. She doesn't have remorse. Of course, it's a matter of fact, but that does not itself attract capital punishment. She should be given a chance. She did not, as a matter of fact, she did not display similar behavior to others. She never committed any offense in the past. She might have been brutal, but that does not attract capital punishment. I feel that life imprisonment over a period of time would alter her views, and she would become capable enough to be replanted in society after her sentence.
So I want to bring in Abha here because there's something I don't understand. All of you are, or some of you are lawyers, some of you have followed crimes for a long time of your life. As a motive to kill somebody because he won't accept the end of a relationship, and you want to marry somebody else, she's a student in her 20s, not a person of great means. Do we have, I mean, does this raise any alarm bells in you? Like, it sounds to me a lot to do, just purely from the motive of not wanting to marry somebody. I mean, you can go and file a police complaint. You can say this man is stalking me if he was stalking her, if he was not accepting the end. You can ask your parents to talk to his parents. I mean, these are not hardcore criminals, right? So as a motive, there's something about it that seems a little peculiar to me. I don't know what you think, Abha.
No, I think, motive can be that she decided in a cold-blooded way to kill him because he must be blackmailing her. She wanted to marry someone else. And he would have said that I would go make it public that we are having an affair, we are in a relationship. So maybe that could be one reason which forced her to murder him. Because, so that is one, in fact, Barkha, I run this NGO and we work in the prisons. In fact, I was conducting some mental health seminar in Raebareli jail, and down the years, suddenly I found, lots of women there undergoing imprisonment. And earlier, 10 years back, I would say mostly were 498A. This time when I asked, I was surprised that it was 302 murder. So of late, there have been a lot of cases of murder where the reason what the jailer said was that because of their extramarital affairs or whatever, but women are committing murder. So it is not something that motive we cannot align to it, but motive is there. But what is another issue is that past record, because she tried to do it once with him, we cannot say that she was a habitual criminal or she had a past record. So that is where I think that reasoning is wrong. And we are talking of RG Kar. This is here what it is different. I would say RG Kar, that guy was drunk. He came by chance. This woman was there. This medico was sleeping. The door was unlocked. So he pounced on her. So I think that is where the legal point comes in, that premeditated. RG Kar was not premeditated. I mean, CBI could not.
I mean, we don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
CBI could not pinpoint it that it was premeditated. That's what I'm trying to say. Here, Kerala police has proved it in the trial that it was premeditated, and also there is no remorse, because if he was suffering for 11 days, had she told the medical,
I'll say something there though. This lady in RG Kaur was at her place of work, right?
No,
if you are going to go to your place of work and be killed at your place of work, you are basically discouraging women from going to work.
Yes,
right. Given our female labor force participation,
give the word premeditated because Manchi Singh versus State of Punjab also talks of premeditated.
But Abha, the cover up of RG Kaur seems very premeditated. The cover up, the lies to the parents. So there are all kinds of other layers there.
Yeah, but you have to see, the judge will go by what the facts are. We also, I appear in criminal cases, and with the very clear, you have to show motive, mens rea, you're premeditated or not. So that's what I'm trying to say, that in this girl had got the poison. She knew she got him. So There are two different things here, and I think that is why, of course, she should not have got death penalty. RG Kar rapist should have got death penalty. But if I go by the legalistic terms, I'm trying to break down the judgment, how the judge would have
So,
gone
is
to
there
that point.
any? So, basically, what I'm hearing from this panel is none of you, maybe with the exception of Rahul Ishwar, believes that this lady should get the death penalty. Rahul, you do believe that if the death penalty is on the statutes, then this is the fit case for it. Rahul?
Just let me add one more thing. Earlier there was a statement saying maybe he had blackmailed her. By Abhaji. With the greatest of respect, had I said the same thing regarding a girl, Barkhaji would have said, "I'm doing victim shaming. I'm doing all the kind of abusing the person who left." But when it is about a man, it is a convenient thing to say. A man
No,
can
I
even be.
can I just say that I raised that question, not about the blackmail, but about the motive, to understand why a young woman would be driven to kill her some boyfriend that she doesn't want to be with anymore. Abha is only offering a theory there.
Yeah.
But you're
So she could have,
right. You're
like you
right
rightly
that
said.
as women, if we reverse the genders, we're in a minefield. Abha, do you want to respond? Abha, do you want to respond?
I want to say this, not only blackmailing. I mean, this is not the first case. There are many cases. And that is why, when marriages break down, also people go and blackmail. They send your pictures, cyber stalking, cyber shaming. Women are facing this like anything. So with this would be the one of the reasons she wanted to marry a second guy. The patriarchy, the first lover was not ready to leave her. This is again, they don't want a woman to say no, that no, I don't want to marry you. They don't want to accept no. So she was pushed to the wall. Nobody is saying
Okay,
that what she
Rahul,
did
I let
was wrong.
Rahul complete his point and then Sanjay Hegde.
I'll just respond in a
So
one
murder,
line,
of course, life
a one
imprisonment.
line message that is. Yeah, Abhaji, I agree with the sentiments, but I'm just telling there is a one-line widespread message that is spreading very viral across Kerala that goes like this. Had she given a fake complaint against the guy saying that he had raped her in the pretext of marriage, she would have been branded as a survivor and he would have been in the jail for next 5 or 7 years. So, this is on a lighter note. It is more of a rhetoric, not a serious argument.
No, it's
But
actually
please
not a
remember the other
lighter
way around.
note. I believe Rahul, forget fake allegation. She could have simply gone to the police and said, I do not want to be with this man. He is not accepting that. That is stalking. Sorry, I could be wrong. I don't know much about Sharon. I'm not making any judgment on him. I'm not victim shaming. But Abhilash, can you correct me on this? That if the reason was that she didn't want to be with him, why would she simply not have gone to the police and said, I don't want to be with this man. He is forcing me to be with him. If he was indeed forcing her.
Perhaps she did not want her story to be known to public. She did not want to disclose her personal
Hmm.
relation with police or any other authority. So this and as per what was whatever was stated by Sri Rahul Ishwar, had she gone to the police station, then she would not have got opportunity to administer poison to him, as Sharon would never be believing her thereafter. So
Correct.
both the
But
things cannot
isn't
go
it better
together.
to go to the police than to poison someone?
Of
Isn't
course,
it
but
better to go
then
to the police?
if it's
Sharon,
if
Barkha, Barkha.
if
Sharon
it's
made
if it's
a
a
Huh.
fake
video.
claim,
Sharon made a
Yeah.
video. Means Sharon had lots of evidences or videos of hers. Because even this he made a video which she said don't make. So for all you know that the Sharon had all these compromising videos which he would have used to blackmail her, malign her. Let us go into this point also, that even for his poison he made a video. So maybe
Okay,
he
Rahul
had.
is saying something. Rahul, you're saying no. Rahul, you're saying
I
no.
mean,
Rahul?
to be fair, and to be truthful, court or police have not found such videos. This was the argument basically raised by Greeshma. Court or police has never found such videos. Rather, the court pointed out that Sharon was never even ready to blame Greeshma for anything, and Sharon was a good lover. And there is even mention, and please remember with due respect, because I don't want to sound moralistic, the court has mentioned 4 or 5 times that Greeshma initiated physical relationship or called him to this relationship. Even in the verdict, it is written in the verdict. So there is a pre-planned, mediated, and let us be honest, there can be criminals among women too. It is not that
Of
the
course.
male
Of
be criminal.
course.
So
No, no, of
let us
course. None of
be
us are saying that women are not capable of
Nobody is
crime.
saying that. That's what I meant.
Nobody is
Crimes
saying
and
that.
crime.
Nobody is saying that. Okay, I wanted
Yes.
to bring in Sanjay, but now I'm seeing Ranjana wanting to come in. So Ranjana and then Sanjay.
No,
Ranjana.
I think Rahul, one thing is very misplaced when you give this argument. In your argument is that you are all the time saying that if it was a man, then this would have been happening. This way society would have laid judgment. There were facts in this case. in fact that she has committed a crime, we are all accepting that she should be punished. The whole issue is how severe the punishment should be. And secondly, also, in which circumstances a 20-year-old will be, going to this extreme action where she really wants to take away a life of a man or a boy or who she loved. And also all this happens when, in the mental, you can say mental health status of this woman. You can also talk about a lot of things that she was fearing in future, then she's marrying somebody else. And it all happens because in society this unequal relationship between men and women, men have more power. Even if they do anything, they can get away with it. We all know it. I mean, Rahul, we don't have to prove that, because there are thousands of such. And in our counseling centers, when the cases come, the kind of brutality that men can inflict on women is unthinkable, that a woman will do it on them. But if somebody has committed a crime, is a crime. We are accepting that. We are not saying
However,
that she's
however,
not.
we are in the realm of speculation, Sanjay Hegde, because I am imagining, I don't know, we had invited Greeshma's lawyer to this program and he said he will fight his case in court. I'm imagining that if there were such videos, if this lady was being blackmailed, then her defense would have offered or placed them in court and said that they were mitigating circumstances, her morality was being attacked, her whole life was going to be ruined. And I'm not saying that she would have got away scot free, but the judge would have considered those in determining whether there should be a death sentence or not. As far as we know, Abhilash and Rahul are telling us no such evidence was placed before the court. If that changes, we don't know. But if you were Greeshma's lawyer, Sanjay Hegde, what is the argument you would be making? Sanjay, can you hear me? Sanjay, can you hear me?
Yes,
I can't hear you. Yeah,
Yes,
now I can.
I
Go
can
ahead.
hear you. Uh, okay. So if I were her lawyer, I would say the same things that I said earlier. She's 24. At 24, you're not 18, but you're not 30 either. You are going to make several mistakes. Sometimes those mistakes are fatal. Some of us on this panel are parents. Where you don't know what terror is till you have teenage children. Let me put it this way: children get into all kinds of troubles. They and This was a girl who saw a particular future ahead of her, and to secure that future, she did something criminal and criminally stupid. But she does not deserve to die. She does not deserve to die. She is capable of reformation. She has a long life ahead of her. And the policy of the law is not that of life for life. Especially Indian judges, are not bloodthirsty. There has to be a reverence for human life. And she is entitled to a judgment which takes into account all her failings, but yet says that, look, putting you to death is not who we are as a country.
Right. Rahul, you believe that she deserves to die. Why do you say that?
Two things: the extent of brutality that she displayed and the cunningness and the planning she had. I obviously know that, like Sanjay sir pointed out, or Abhilashi said, or Ranjana ma'am said, or Abhaji said, yes, when going to higher courts, she may get a lesser sentence. That seems to be the norm. But Judge A.M. Bashir, who gave this verdict, maybe wanted to give a larger message to society. I mean, that's very evident in the verdict that he has given. So he wanted to send out a message that those people who are doing this criminal act, those people who are devaluing relationships, should have that. But we all know, this is not the rarest of rare case. Even though he says so, even though we applaud the verdict, I'm very realistic, being a men's rights activist, that going up, she may get a lesser sentence. But like Abhilashi earlier said, even some statements from Greeshma saying that after 14 years, I'll come out and have a good life. This shows insensitivity to the max. This shows a mindset. So that should also be addressed. Hopefully she will change. Maybe she will realize that what she has done is wrong when she crosses 20. But there are many insensitive, extremely insensitive statements from Greeshma. That's a matter of fact.
Abhilash, could you tell us about some of these statements? How do we know who have they been made to? For example, we have a comment from a woman in our audience, Monica. he has lost his life. No one showed him mercy. Now, when it's her turn, she wants mercy. So, of course, there will be opinions like that, but there will also be questions raised about, were her parents putting pressure on her to marry somebody she didn't want to marry? Was she caught between these two men? Maybe she didn't want to be with either of them. Again, I would wonder why she didn't go to the police. You say she didn't want her relationship to be public, but I mean, what do you think? You think, okay, I'll kill somebody because I don't want my relationship to be public? Is that the kind of conservative? Did her parents know about her relationship with Sharon? What can you fill in some of these gaps for those of us who don't know?
See, social media reflections cannot hide or cloud truth.